The Partial Breakaway Podcast with your hosts Nick and Junior and producer Vince, bringing you elite fantasy hockey information to help you win your fantasy leagues and win at life.
Episode 99 of the Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast. We're almost there. One episode away.
I mean, who wore 99 in hockey that we even care about, right?
Beats me.
Vince, you have anyone today?
Nope, I have no idea who wore 99.
Perfect.
I'm sure there was one. Maybe a great one. I don't know.
There could be a great one somewhere there.
Maybe.
The Wayne Gretzky of podcasts, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, the eve of our 100th episode.
Yes,
Eve episode of our 100th.
looking forward to the live party that we're going to have, or live in-person party anyways.
Yeah, let's just say live stream.
I don't even know.
I don't know how much of a
live
party
stream.
it's going to be.
I don't know what party you guys
It's
are
going to be an
going to.
in-person thing.
I don't know
We'll
what
leave
party
it
you guys are going to. It's going to be our wives and our kids, and that's it. So.
My kids are actually
my
not
kids are
coming.
coming.
They don't care about us.
You can't afford a babysitter. That's your problem.
Guys, another week, another team, another episode. Colorado Avalanche special guest.
Special guest today. I'm looking forward to it.
Big changes for this team.
There are some changes to this team, and there's a couple of players that I'm very interested in asking about.
It's another team that kind of like retooled in like half a season.
Wow.
Their goaltending department,
And they did it quite well.
I mean, you
actually.
got McKinnon and McCarr. What are you retooling? You know, retooling when you have McKinnon and McCarr.
No, you're building around the edges.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
kind of like the symbol here.
How about we make the expert?
yes.
Oh yeah, okay. All right.
Let's introduce our guest. Ready?
Wait, let me see.
Right, 'cause-
Obtenez ce qu'il vous faut quand il le faut.
Well, there's commercials on YouTube. I apologize.
that's why we don't use YouTube.
Well,
I thought you had recorded it earlier. All right, our first ever female guest, beat writer, reporter with the hockey news, member of the THPN community as co-host of the Avalanche Warning podcast. From surging to Avalanche Warnings, let's welcome Bailey Curtis.
Oh my gosh, guys, what an introduction. And can I just say, 9 is my lucky number. So I feel like this is perfect.
It was meant to be.
It was meant
It
to
was
be.
meant to be.
It was written in the stars or the
Love
avalanches.
it. No, thank you guys so much for having me on. I'm super excited to chat, some of the changes and somewhat excitement heading up into this season.
Absolutely. This is a great team to preview. So thank you very much for coming on and helping us out with this.
Yeah.
Because you've watched a lot more Avalanche hockey than we do. And this is why you are the expert, and we are simply here to dissect everything that you teach us.
I wouldn't call myself an expert just yet. Just fresh off of 1 year on the beats. I still got a ways to go there.
Well,
You're experts to us, all right?
well, Bailey,
Appreciate
let
it.
us know, where can people find your work? What are you working on lately? And how are you affiliated with this whole Avalanche thing?
Yeah, so as far as following me on socials, you can find most, if not all, of my work that I'm promoting over on X, Twitter, Twix, whatever people call it nowadays, at Bailey Curtis, and that's Bailey with 2 Y's. I am the beat writer reporter, as you so kindly mentioned during my intro, for the hockey news. So finding my work over there on the Colorado Avalanche channel. I am on the ground, conducting interviews, watching games at every home game. And yeah, that's where most of my work and stuff lives. As far as podcasting, that is still a fairly new endeavor as far as the Avalanche stuff goes. I just recently founded and got started an Avalanche podcast called The Avalanche Warning. I'm the main host of that with my co-host Gavin Oseguera and Grant Foster. And we are only 6 episodes in. So we are still kind of building that up from the ground. It's a little interesting because this is not a very interesting season to have gotten started on. It's a very slow off season. So that made for a bit of a struggle to find some content to get going up on there. But yeah, that's gonna be kind of where my work ends. I just guessed. I was just a guest on the Gorilla Sports Off Ice podcast with Jesse Montano and Megan Engley earlier today, actually. So if you're looking for some fresh Avalanche stuff to go listen to, I would definitely check that out over there as well.
Awesome.
Will do. Okay, so before we start, let's just break it down how this is going to go. We're going to do an intro and team overview, roster and lineup breakdown, goaltending outlook, power play top scores, over/under point projections, prospects to watch, and season predictions, and hopefully some hot and bold takes.
In all under 53 minutes.
And all...
Woo!
Let's get it started.
Let's get it started.
All right. So you mentioned how it was going to be an exciting season to come. Despite losing a player like Rantanen, are you still excited heading into the new season? Are the fans still excited heading into the new season? And are they still trending upwards? I mean, to me, they are, but is that the general consensus in Denver?
I would say so. Absolutely. I think there's still the only question mark that I really have for this team is the bottom six. The top six looks incredible, especially with getting Gabriel Landeskog back after a 3-year recovery period,
Wow.
which is crazy. And, you know, when he comes back in playoffs and looks like he never left, that's how you know you're probably in for a really exciting season when you get your captain back looking like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got, not only do you have Gabe Landeskog returning to the ice, but you have Nichushkin, who's no longer a question mark. You're able to start the season with him, and there's no, okay, what's he going to look like after, you know, being suspended for a few months, and what does that kind of look like? The defense, they've kind of got squared away. I think they polished that off with the addition of Brent Burns. Goaltending is... It couldn't look, I mean, obviously it could look better, but I think this is the most confident that I've felt in the Avalanche's goaltending tandem in a long time.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only question marks that I would have are, can we round out that bottom six with the 2+ give or take million that they have left in cap space? And can they stay healthy? That I think if this team can stay healthy and not go through as many injury woes as they went through last season, they're absolutely a cup contender heading into this upcoming season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Definitely.
I agree with that, especially with some of the players that they grabbed but they managed to keep, solidifying that top six. I really like their chances for a run again.
And, you know, you guys were mentioning some of the changes that happened to this roster too. And it's hilarious because I was actually talking with Jesse today about how Joe Sakic ended in the exit interview after last season saying, we're basically trying to run it back. Like we are confident in our group. We like the group that we built at the trade deadline this last season. And it's crazy kind of looking at, you know, how much different, but also how similar it still looks.
Yeah, and I mean, I was going to ask you if, from a fantasy perspective, how heavily we can rely on the Colorado Avalanche, but they might be the team that you could rely on the most when it comes to fantasy
for output.
hockey, for output, especially in points. So, you know what? Let's jump right into the lineup breakdown.
All right, Billy. So you mentioned that they made changes at the end of last season, and they like the changes that they made. So we're going to talk about the top six right now and see what the top six is going to look out and why those changes impact this top six so well. So obviously, I'm going to mention Nathan MacKinnon. I mean, we're talking about, if not the second best player in the world, maybe the third best player in the world, but in conversation for top three in the NHL right now. Other than his diet, is there anything else that we should be concerned about for Nathan MacKinnon? Not really, right? We're expecting that to be the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the sky is the limit for this guy.
Yeah. And he's going to be running it probably with Arturi Lehkonen again. And last year it was Necas on his wing on that top line. Do we see any changes there, or?
You know, my instinctual answer is no. But and something I actually had written in the notes when I was going through like our itinerary, was Jared Bednar loves to play the blender game during games. Generally your starting lineup will look very, very similar, if not the same, from game to game. But
Okay.
the lineup from minute 1 to minute 60 could look drastically different just based on how the team is playing, what kind of spark he's hoping to get from moving pieces around during the game. So you could see Nechas and Lehkonen on McKinnon's wings. You could see Nechas moved down to the second line and see Nichushkin moved up to that first. You could see Ross Colton potentially make a jump from the third line up to that first line, if that's what he so chooses. So it really is just kind of depending on what the game is kind of looking at from intermission to intermission. Generally, though, if you're looking at specifically starting lineups, I'd imagine that's what that first line is going to look like. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, nobody really has a crystal ball here. So I would expect at least them to start the season this way.
And we don't have Lehkonen in our over-under projections. But in a mailbag that Bailey put out, I actually asked if Lehkonen could repeat 30 goals. And she did say yes.
Well, there you go. 30-goal Lehkonen. Bailey called it. She guaranteed it.
If she did.
Let's not hold those receipts to my head, please.
And if it doesn't happen, well, you have her Twitter account, you have all of that.
That's why
Give
we
them my
introduced her.
email. Why don't you just have them complain there?
Now you know the real reason we have guests.
Oh,
No
God,
accountability.
Put on the spot. Good grief.
So second line, though, was one of those trade targets at the trade deadline last year, which was Brock Nelson.
Mhm.
And I think it was a surprise, but a good surprise to see Brock Nelson re-sign again in Colorado and have another run at it. And there's probably Gabriel Landeskog on his left and Valeri Nichushkin, which you mentioned before, on his right. Out of those three players, do you see any concerns, or are you expecting big things from any of these three guys for the whole season? How do you think that season's going to go with them?
Yeah, I think the biggest question mark on that line is going to be Landeskog. And, coming off of the long hiatus that he was on trying to recover. I don't know if you guys have watched the documentary that he put out, A Clean Sheet, over on HBO Max.
Not yet.
Definitely worth a watch. Absolutely. But one of the biggest things that's kind of stuck with me from that documentary, I hate that I'm going to spoil it a little bit for you guys, but if no athlete has come back from this, then I am determined to be the first.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what he's vying for. He's looking at making a proper return and finishing out the rest of his career. But again, no athlete has come back from this. This is a really, really complicated, really interesting rehabilitation period he's gone through with multiple different surgeries. And so that, to me, is going to be the biggest question mark. Are we going to see Landeskog play just as he was when he left, which you saw him kind of in his prime. Like you're seeing really, really talented Gabriel Landeskog leading this team, spearheading this team, even while playing on an injured leg. Finished out the Stanley Cup run only to, go through this process. Or are we going to see the Landeskog that I think a lot of fans are expecting to see in, okay, we're not pushing it. We're just looking to play hockey. And I'm not looking to give the performance of my life. I'm just looking to play and see how things feel.
Yeah.
So that to me is the biggest question mark on that line.
Do you foresee any time management for Landeskog? Like, has there been any talk of possibly easing him in, or maybe not having him play a full 82 game schedule or anything like that?
All signs are pointing to him starting and ending the season with the team.
Nice.
So whether that's good or bad, take that as you will. I kind of see that as a win. We'll get into it later, but he's actually one of the keepers for my fantasy league. So
nice.
I'm hoping that we see a good season out of Landeskog.
Well, okay, so Bailey, if, let's say, knock on wood, anything happens and somebody has to come into that second line or that top six, is there anybody from the bottom six that you foresee having a chance at that top six?
The two biggest pieces, I think, would be one of Ross Colton or Logan O'Connor once Logan comes back from his hip surgery in December. Logan O'Connor, who I think is a kind of slept on piece of this team, went undrafted and found himself in a solid spot with the Colorado Avalanche. I think he, you know, I was talking about this with somebody today actually, and saying, Logan, he really is a steady bottom six guy, but if you can catch him at a good kind of pace in his season, I really think he can contribute something to the second line if you give him the opportunity to. Ross Colton, though, if I'm putting my money on any, like, healthy or not, one of the two, it's going to be Ross Colton on the wing.
What I love about Ross Colton is he's one of those Swiss Army knives.
Mm-hmm.
He could go anywhere.
Absolutely.
He could be used absolutely in any position, left, center, right wing. And I think in most, in our Fantrax league, at least, he's rated all three positions. So
we tried to acquire him.
We actually tried to acquire him in one of our leagues, in the Dobber Prospects League. So
if I'm remembering correctly, he actually started out last season at center, and then Bednar kind of had the idea to utilize, like, he had utilized him at wing before, and just the way that the roster was being managed at the time, he fit better at center. But once pieces kind of started coming back into the fold from injury and things of that sort, kind of gave him that left wing position, and really, really liked what he was doing there. So yeah, he really is a very versatile player and a really nice kind of sneaky addition to a team.
There hasn't been a lot of movement in the defensive side.
Mm-mm.
So the pairings, obviously you mentioned Brent Burns as a big player to come in, especially on that bottom pairing, because at his age right now, I feel like Brent Burns is the type of person that could come in and really solidify a third pairing more than a top pairing guy that he used to be. Do you see anything concerning or any question marks, any storylines from that defensive pairings that we need to touch on, or status quo?
I again was just saying this today, in that I think the only line, or the only pairing that is solidified for the Colorado Avalanche this season, is the pairing of Cale Makar and Devon Toews. I have no idea what that bottom four is going to look like. And I go back and forth every single day, because I really do think, with, even despite Brent Burns' age, I mean, he's creeping up on 41, but he's still got a lot to add to a team. He's got he's a great veteran presence in the locker room. He's going to be the grandpa of that locker room, which I'm very excited to see that in person, honestly. But he also still has a little bit left to provide in the tank when it comes to defense. And I really think, with his size, that's going to be a huge addition. It could be a huge addition to that second pairing, especially something you might be lacking in size with a guy like Sam Girard.
Right. So
I do think he could fit on one or both of the second or third pairing. I'd almost be more inclined to give him that second pairing spot, but that, again, that's today. I could have a completely different answer for you tomorrow. But just because I like that he's not playing with somebody who is brand new to the league, brand new-ish to the league, in Sam Malinsky, who's just kind of starting to find his role, find his rhythm in the big leagues. And yeah.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
He still logs over 20 minutes of ice time a night. That's 41 years old.
By the way, the 41 is the new 31. So let's relax. Old.
Okay. Yeah, but you're 43.
43.
I will preface this in saying I do not expect Brent Burns to be playing anywhere close to the minutes he was playing in Carolina next to Jacob Slavin. That was top line minutes. And I think one of the only reasons he ended up not getting anything done in Carolina is they made it perfectly clear to him that spot that he had next to Jacob Slavin was gone this upcoming season, just with the entrance of Alexander Nikishin. And so this way, yes, he's still going to have a diminished role, but he's still, again, able to provide that veteran presence. He maybe has that second pair spot. He's going to provide some good minutes on the PK, which I'm very excited about. But not only that, you're taking a little bit of pressure off of Cale Makar, who played close to 25 minutes some nights. A lot of minutes, even for a generational talent in Cale Makar. So even if he can take, just a couple minutes off of Makar's back, one or two shifts here and there each game, I think it is what Brent Burns could potentially fall into. But just I wouldn't expect him to play anywhere close to what he played in Carolina.
And what a beard.
It's
They
funny
did
you
a
mention
beard
the
night in Carolina.
They did a
They
beard night.
Brent Burns beard night.
That's
Like a little
amazing.
He's gonna
promotional
lighten
night.
the
It was great.
mood. I feel like he's gonna lighten the mood in that locker room too.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
McKinnon
such
is
a
so
leader.
like business-like, the guy he's all business. So like maybe especially after back-to-back losses to the Stars, maybe he like lightens the mood a little bit more, relieves a bit of pressure off everyone, and maybe just makes it slightly more fun. And
Which I think
Yeah.
that Avs locker room could use too, because having been in both locker rooms, and those are, and I say that as though I've been in multiple. Those are the only two I've ever been in. But they really are different cultures. The Avs are very much like rigorous, like it is business. I'm gonna do what I need to do, and they'll throw like little banter like comments at each other here and there, but it's not nearly as fun and goofy as I've experienced in the Canes locker room. So I'm hoping he brings a little bit of that energy, especially with friends in Jack Drury, Martin Netchis, players like that.
Very nice. Very nice. Vince.
All right, Billy. So before talking about goalies, I'll bring it back to when I was 13 years old.
Oh, God.
It was an early morning. I went down like any other day, had breakfast, was about to watch Sportsnet, and then I saw the biggest highway robbery in my life.
Yeah.
Patrick Roy and Mike Keenan for Kovalenko, Rosinski, and Jocelyn Thibault. Not even to say we got a first round draft pick, nothing. So you're welcome for Patrick Roy and Mike Keenan.
that set us back 20 years,
Set
man.
us back
The dark ages.
Jesus.
The dark ages.
Set us back 20 and
gosh.
push Colorado front 10 years.
And I could tell you at least 5 of our listeners that have PTSD from that
I
trip.
still have. I still have it. Like,
Yeah.
I can't.
I wish I was a fan around that time. Never mind. Probably I might not have been old enough to remember that trade, honestly.
So speaking about Roy, the two goalies right now is Mackenzie Blackwood, Scott Wedgwood.
The woodshed. is
yeah,
what
the woodshed.
made them.
The woodshed.
That's so.
All the
I
woods.
mean, Colorado made Georgiev look really good. So, what do you think about this goalie tandem? What can happen?
I don't know as though Colorado made Georgiev look anything. I think
No.
Georgiev did that all on his own.
You think so?
Colorado had, that man was either stopping everything or nothing. There's a reason a lot of fans in Colorado called him Forgiev before he left. So, but again, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I think this is the most confident that I've ever felt in the Colorado Avalanche's goalie tandem, at least as far as I can remember being, following this team. I moved out here summer of 2019. So if that kind of puts that into perspective for you,
Yeah.
this goaltending tandem is the best that it has looked in a long time. You're getting a stud in Mackenzie Blackwood, who, despite not having any playoff experience prior to last year, I think was one of, if not the best player in that Dallas series for Colorado. And then Scott Wedgwood, who is, maybe not the best goaltender in the league, but I think he is a really solid backup.
Yeah.
I think, we talk about locker room presence a lot, and I think both Scott and Mackenzie Blackwood spearhead a lot of that locker room talk and a lot of that environment, which we saw take monumental steps up from when Georgiev was in that room.
Yeah.
So,
And do you foresee like 52 games for Blackwood, 30 games for Wedgwood, or do you see Blackwood really taking in the 60 to 62 games?
Bednar tends to lean a lot on a starting goaltender. If that answers your question.
Yeah.
So I expect Blackwood to get most of the starts. Wedgwood coming in as relief when he needs to for longer stretches or closer game stretches. Blackwood's going to take most of those starts, though.
So for fantasy owners, either draft Blackwood or keep Blackwood. Either way.
Absolutely.
LPHL, he's a free agent. That's
Yeah,
going to be an
exactly.
interesting league.
Yeah, and then they're well set up too for the after Blackwood, and
That's in the prospects. We're not there yet.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say I have notes to talk about it.
Yeah,
So-
that's right.
Okay.
So,
Well,
We won't
okay.
spoil it.
Fine. Let's move on to the power play. So you said earlier Bednar likes to mix his lines throughout a game, let alone a season. Does he do the same thing on the power play? I mean, last year, the last game against Dallas, it seemed to have been Landeskog, McKinnon, Lehkonen, Natchez, and Makar.
Mhm.
Do you see that as a starting five on the power play one, or
Absolutely.
okay?
100%. And
Cool.
I will mention too that Bednar does not have as much of a hand in the power play as people outside of Colorado may think. The Avalanche are actually fresh off of firing the guy who led their power
Ooh.
play last season. They fired Ray Bennett and
Really?
brought in former Seattle Kraken head coach Dave Haxtell.
Hackstall, yes.
So Haxtell's
Yeah.
going to be an assistant coach for the Avalanche this upcoming season and can hopefully turn this power play around.
Well, you know what? The power play wasn't even that bad. It was eighth in the league.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what I was
but
gonna.
it
On
was
power play
late.
percentage.
on power play percentage.
It was 8th in the league, but remember, Rantanen was there for
Till
3/4
January.
Yeah.
till January.
Jan.
So, I mean, still.
half
Wow.
a season
Yeah.
And I will say the power play did take a bit of a dive
afterwards.
Rantanen
Yeah.
left.
But it
Um,
we expected,
and-
I think, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Naturally.
Just because you get in a groove, you know where Rantanen's going to be. I mean, he was a foundational part of that core. And then all of a sudden you have to figure out how to play with a player who is worlds different
Yeah,
than
right.
Rantanen and Martin Necas. So yeah, it's restructuring that power play. They've got a new voice, hopefully, to kind of figure out some of the woes they ran into with that power play in that Dallas series was
Yes.
disastrous.
I was gonna say
So
they fell apart in the playoffs.
Yeah.
in
when
the
they needed
playoffs,
it most.
absolutely, and even 5-on-5, they just all around could not hold on to a lead to save their lives, and the power play was really kind of to their detriment because those are really the only opportunities that they had to get the upper hand on Dallas because Dallas had them beat everywhere else. But yeah, we're hoping that that'll start to trend up with a new voice. Now that McKinnon and Netchus will be starting the season together, they can kind of figure each other out. Maybe put a puck or two on net. I know that's really difficult sometimes, but shooting pucks really does help. I promise. And the Avalanche, for some reason, have a really difficult time with that. I have no idea why, but yeah, that's the hope. No, for sure. Unless the unthinkable happens, Makar will be quarterbacking, and that core four sounds, that's what it's looking like.
And for the listeners, that's a huge bonus for Lehkonen because most people automatically assume Nishushkin maybe gets that spot over Lehkonen. And other than Nishushkin, do you see maybe a dark horse getting a spot on power play one throughout the season? Maybe a Ross Colton. Does Brock Nelson maybe get a?
I think
an
Brock Nelson
opportunity?
brings more of the Rantanen power side
And
of it.
That's fair.
to that point too, I think that's why Brock Nelson's a really, really good, sturdy piece for power play too. I think the only guy that you could potentially see swapped out would be Nichushkin for Lehkonen, potentially bringing Lehkonen back down onto that PP2. But that's maybe if they're trying things out. I no clue.
Right.
I'm inclined to kind of keep that where it is, but if there is a dark horse at all, I would put my money on Nichushkin above anybody else.
I got stocks in Lehkonen, so
I got
that
stocks in Nichushkin,
that
so-
makes my day.
Well, talking about putting money on.
So
how
we're
about,
both gonna we're both gonna lose, and it's gonna be Brock Nelson the whole time. That's the way it works. That's podcast.
We'll just
for you, by the
all
way.
be wrong.
Yeah, we're all gonna be wrong.
90% of the time we're wrong anyway, right?
90% of the time we're wrong. 100% of the time.
That's why I'm
Right.
saying not to call me an expert, guys.
over-unders?
Oh, is it
Oh,
over
already? Yes.
Ooh.
let's go.
Ooh.
This is
We're
is
moving
going very well.
quickly.
Yeah,
All right.
This is where.
Where I should have been prepared.
Yeah,
You
like
could say it.
well, Nick, like this, you couldn't get it going in the podcast. Now you're not prepared for your session. Jesus, might have to like vote you off the island.
You can replace me any day you want, by the way, as long as I get a package. Okay, so Bailey,
you're getting 2 Heinekens and a donut.
it's more than I had yesterday. All right, Bailey. Let's do some over-unders here. This is the fun part of the episode. You actually do not know what are the names that we're going to be mentioning here.
Okay.
So that's going to be fun because this is all going to be new to you.
I love surprises.
If you're wrong, it's not us, so it's fine.
My email is not open for any.
All right, so I'm going to start off with you with a big one. Nathan McKinnon, over or under 124.5 points.
Oh God, what did he have last season?
116 last year.
Yeah.
In
And the year
79
before that,
games.
140?
142, I think.
142.
Last year was 140.
Yeah.
He paced, in 82 games, 140.
Damn, I'm good.
Strangely, I'm gonna go the under here.
Oh, wow. Okay, guys, I'm going to sell McKinnon in my leagues.
And that's not to say that's whatever. I don't know if I'm supposed to give explanations here.
Go ahead, please.
Think
Yeah.
with
It's as you
being
wish.
paired with another offensively gifted player in Martin Netjes too. I think there's going to be a little bit of evening out with their points, especially with Netjes coming off of a career year as well.
Yeah.
I think
Good point.
Yeah.
There's
Very good
worse
point.
things than less than 125 points.
Yeah, I mean,
I was gonna say 116 is fine. That's perfectly fine in my book.
If we get a player in Montreal that hits 82, we're throwing him a party.
We did.
We did. We threw him a party.
He hit 84 last year. All right. Martin
My
Necas.
invitation must have gotten lost in the mail.
You're always welcome in
You
Montreal.
guys are still blacklisted because of Patrick Roy.
I wasn't a fan of the team then, guys, okay?
It's not Bailey's fault.
It's not my fault, I promise.
Martin Necas, 74.5 points.
Ooh.
Over, under.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Bold take here. I'm going to take the over.
I love it.
Nice.
How high do you think he can go, Bailey?
I don't think it's much higher than that.
No. Okay.
Okay.
I don't think it's much higher than that, but
We're
I
not
do
going
think.
bold take 100.
Well, but
points,
that if we're on a spicy scale, it's not quite a Carolina Ghost pepper, but we're in like jalapeno territory.
Okay.
All right. Valerie Nishkushin. So now this is about goals specifically.
Okay.
36.5. Can he do over or under 36.5 goals? Valerie Nishkushin.
21 and 43 games played last year.
He was on pace.
So he was on pace for close to 40.
Close to 40 last year, yeah.
You
And
said
same-
36?
I said 36.5, yes.
36 and a half.
Oh, he really needs to play 82 games.
Jesus,
He
I'm
doesn't
looking
play
at his
82
stats.
games.
He
Wow.
hasn't played 82 games once in his career.
I think if he gets to 82 games, he can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
If he plays any less than that, I mean, like he hits 81 and that's it.
It's that last game hat trick that's going to happen.
Way to save yourself there.
All right. One closer to the heart. Landeskog.
Okay.
54.5 points. Over, under.
Give me the over.
Nice.
I like
Give
it.
me the over here.
I like it. Very nice.
I'm expecting. We'll get into this later too. I'm expecting a big season out of Landeskog.
Nice.
Yeah.
If he's healthy, I mean, there
Sky's the
shouldn't be a
limit.
reason why he couldn't hit over 60 points.
Absolutely.
All right, two more if you're good. All right. Kale McCarr. Just because
Over.
Next question.
as a fantasy podcast, we have to mention McCarr's name or we get sued. So Kale McCarr, 92.5 points. Over or under?
Over.
Yeah.
It's
Over.
I mean,
he's just
he's
too good.
he's the best
Too good.
defenseman.
I'll
offensive
even go as
defenseman.
far to say is he should I save my bold take for later?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
okay.
well, we're
I
gonna-
will
we're
keep my
gonna-
mouth shut then.
Let's keep people
Oh,
tuned
man, I already know what the bolt take
Yeah,
is.
same here.
in. Wow, you guys are really crystal balls, eh? Okay.
Can you see the last one?
Arturi Lekkonen.
Again.
He was on the
He's not on the list. I made him on the list.
Oh,
30 and a half.
You made it
points. 30 goals. Can he hit 30 goals? Yes or nay?
To make it official.
Yay or nay?
Yes, I think he can do it. If he can play a full 82 game season, I don't see why 30 goals is impossible for Lehkonen, especially if he can keep consistent time on that first line.
You know, we loved Lehkonen in Montreal.
Yeah.
We absolutely love this guy. He was the quietest, but just
Thank you.
played the right way. Like,
as a beat writer for Colorado, thank you.
and see, that you were there during that one.
I
Not like
was.
Patrick Roy.
Yes.
And you know what? We loved him. He was just snake bitten while he was here.
Mhm.
But
He
he never
had
really
the
got-
worst
He
luck.
was-
But he never got a
he never
top
got-
line
he
chance.
never
Yeah,
got
he
the
never played with
opportunity.
McKinnon, right?
Well, we didn't have a McKinnon.
Correct.
We still don't have a McKinnon.
We were run by a dumbass.
That's another story. Okay.
Vince has PTSD on Bergevin.
Don't say his
clearly.
name. Don't say his name. Don't say his name.
Remind
solely
me to
this
never
podcast.
bring up Patrick Waugh.
No, man.
Never visit Montreal and mention Patrick Roy.
So if anybody listening to this is putting any bets on this, well, Bailey, if she's right or wrong, just give her props or just send her a quick message saying she was wrong about these over-unders.
Yeah, my ego can take it.
Yeah.
I promise.
As long as you give her a follow, I'm sure she doesn't care.
Exactly.
You're giving me clicks and audience, guys. I don't care at all.
The majority of people that troll us is people that follow us anyway. So
Yeah, people are jealous. Okay, but usually a team like Colorado, the prospect line is very thin because they're basically always going for it. They're selling assets to get bigger assets for the playoff run, stuff like that. But you guys still have some like key players like Gavin Brindley, Mikhail Gulayev, and Ilya Nabokov. I'm gonna stop there because my name pronouncing is terrible. So, but what can you tell us about the prospect lines? Do you see like any of these guys being maybe not this year, but being important pieces for the future of the Colorado Avalanche?
Ilya Nabokov is definitely a name to keep your eye on, especially where
Mhm.
goaltending's concerned. As far as Avalanche fans kind of look when it comes to the future, he's kind of the future of goaltending for the Colorado Avalanche. And that's saying something, given that Mackenzie Blackwood is the biggest shot they've taken on a goaltender. I could be wrong about this, but since Patrick Waugh.
Mhm.
And so I think Ilya Nabokov is definitely a big name to keep an eye on. As far as breaking the lineup, somebody to potentially keep your eye on here. This is a hard question for me, just because of the amount of call-ups that came up last season, and very, very few of them kept to the roster. Keaton Middleton is the only one that I can think of that found a place on the roster, and he did virtually nothing.
41 games
except
played, 2 assists.
Jeez.
2 assists. He hit a lot of people though.
It's good.
So there's-
That's fun.
So yeah, he was kind of the truck of the team. I'll put it that way. I if I'm not mistaken, I was trying to find the number before hopping on here and I couldn't. The Avalanche actually led the league last year in prospects called up. So the amount of players that actually played for their roster, I want to say it was somewhere northward of 45 players
Wow.
played on this roster last year. And that's not normal.
No.
So it's hard to give one player their flowers here. I think if you're looking at anybody to potentially make an impact, Ivan Ivan's potentially a name to keep an eye on. Matthew Steinberg is potentially a name to keep your eye on. Zakhar Bardakov potentially definitely might be worth looking into. And I'm going to stop myself there.
Nice.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
I mean, when you're this good and always contending,
Yeah,
your prospect line gets a
is-
little
yeah,
depleted, right?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
okay.
So, and they over the past couple of years, they really exhausted a lot of their draft capital too, and a lot of their prospect capital as well. The Eagles are a very, very good, very big contender for the Calder Cup, especially in this most recent season. I loved watching their run this past season. Jacob McDonald was incredible on their blue line. Not a guy you are likely going to see get the call up to the NHL, but somebody who was very Kyle McCarr-like in his way of breaking records. So
Yeah, like
they've spent a good amount of time, and I think especially in this edition of Gavin Brindley or in a guy like Daniil Gushchin, I think they just got in a trade from San Jose or people. And Gushchin, I will actually mention as one other potential that could break into a roster spot. I don't see him having a consistent spot, but he's going to find a lot of love on the Eagles. But yeah, I think they're kind of set. They've got a lot of good pieces. Avalanche, I believe, are also kind of set in their ways.
Because
it makes sense.
Basically, in the Nelson trade, you gave up one of your best prospects in Callum Ritchie, right? So
losing Cal Ritchie hurt.
That was,
yeah.
Hurt.
Yeah.
That's why I think the re-signing of Nelson makes that hurt a little bit less, right? Because now you're running it back again.
It solidifies the top six.
You're solidifying that top six for one more season at least. He only signed one, right?
What do you mean you only signed
1 year? He signed a 1 year or 2 year contract?
No, he signed long term.
Long term.
Yeah, he signed long term. Okay.
Yeah, he took a
But he's
lower
37
cap.
years old.
He took but he took a lower cap hit to sign long term.
So yeah, he signed a 3-year deal for $7.5 million.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 3 year.
Hold on a second.
That's not
Wait
so
a
bad.
minute.
Yeah, 3 years at 7.
You're right. He's 30.
Nelson at
He's 34 at the start of the season.
Giving everybody
My
they're
mistake.
40 years old.
Oh, I think I'm younger than I am.
Yeah.
But I will say, given the center market and how dry just the market in general was this year too, I think getting him at 7.5. At first, I thought the signing was a little high, but then seeing for other guys kind of going at what they went for, I do think it really was a good contract.
Yeah, exactly.
With all the teams looking for a number 2 center this year, he would have easily hit $9 million.
And this is a question that Avalanche have been trying to answer for the last couple of years too, and now they're going into this season not having to worry about a 2C.
That's right, guys. A couple of years we've been trying to answer for the past 35 years.
Oh my god!
So I mean,
at least you guys have Lane Hudson.
Who didn't get called up to the Olympic?
Oh, so we got 10 minutes left, guys.
Brock Nelson
is on a schedule.
Is 33 years old, but he looks 45. Okay, I'm just looking at his picture here. Doesn't he look old? Okay.
We made it. We made it.
Bold prediction.
Yes, but before we do bold predictions,
okay. Yes, but before,
do you see Colorado winning the division?
No.
Are we avoiding a first round of Dallas, Colorado? Or are we going for round 3 this year?
No, please. No, I would love to see them play somebody that is not Dallas in the first round.
Could be Winnipeg, maybe.
You know what? I would love Winnipeg, given the way that Hellebuck played.
Yeah.
These last playoffs,
absolutely. Okay.
All right, we spoke enough garbage. Let's get to the fun stuff. Okay, it wasn't garbage, but
taking a step up from jalapenos here.
Yeah, from jalapenos. Yeah. All right, hit us with your best shot.
Oh, I have a feeling I know what this bold prediction is. Oh wait, Nick, you have a soundtrack?
No, go.
Oh, so what's your bold prediction, Bailey?
I'm just doing my production.
All right. You two seem to have read my mind here.
Yes.
Cale Makar, 31 goals.
Oh,
31 goals.
I did not read your mind.
I was thinking.
I thought you were
going Cale Makar over 100 points.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going.
Well, I feel like close to 100 is where I kind of have him at. Give me, he was he was the first defenseman to hit 30 goals in 7 years, if I have that correct. My memory is horrible. This is why I have to have things in front of me. But he was the first defenseman in a while to hit that 30 goal mark. I don't think he's hit his ceiling.
Yeah,
I still think there's a lot left in the tank for a guy like Cale Makar. Give me 31 goals.
Yeah, so Mike Green hit it in 2008, 2009. He hit 31 goals. And Kevin Hatcher in 92-90. Kevin Hatcher,
in
92-93, 34 goals.
He probably just smashed into everybody, made space, and took a wicked slap.
31 goals, Cale Makar. That'd be big.
Yeah.
Hatcher always had a wicked slapper.
Yeah, he had a wicked slapper, and he played with Zubov too. That was a nice pair. Enough Dallas talk, right? Gosh. Any other hot takes?
Yeah, way to put her on the spot there, Junior.
Oh God,
Oh,
I only had the one. Let me.
Okay,
see
that's
what I've got
fine.
on my notes.
That's fine.
Let me see.
Throwing them under the bus.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys.
I thought you would have had a Landeskog one. That's why I was.
You put on the itinerary one bold prediction.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
This
I'll
is what
give you
happens
that.
when man make the itinerary, Bailey. Okay,
Oh, God.
we don't follow it.
Oh man.
That's how it is.
Okay, I'll give you one,
Go.
and it'll be really bold.
Oh my god.
Oh.
This is gonna take forever.
Nishushkin to hit 50 goals.
What?
Whoa.
Why? Why?
Hey.
Explain.
If he plays 82 games,
Yes,
he's already paced for 40 goals multiple times.
that's true.
If he can stay consistent and play 82 games, whether it's on first line, second line, make his way to the power play one, he's playing with excellent weapons. I think he can hit 50.
I'll tell you why I agree with you a little bit. Is that
I gotta change podcast partners. Jeez.
no? I'll explain why. Who was the second line center last year?
Jonathan, no, he was
No,
playing
he was
wing.
not. He was playing wing,
It started
Middlestat,
with Colton,
Middlestat.
Middlestat. Oh, that was a terrible experiment.
and he still pays for 40 with Middlestat as the center. I think that Brock Nelson being the center here is a huge upgrade on Middlestat.
Yeah, and he fluctuates with his lineups during a game, so
Yeah.
he does get action with McKinnon at some point. And
Yeah.
I think it's feasible. It'll be difficult, but I think it's a good
Anything
bold
is
take.
feasible. I played the lottery. I could be a millionaire. It's feasible. He hasn't even played 82 games once in his career.
Well, he did say if he plays 82 games. Anyways, that's that.
Hit
Haley,
the outro.
thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
One more time.
One more time for the people in the back.
We mean the millions and millions listening.
The millions and millions listening to this podcast. Where can people find your work?
Yeah, absolutely. Head over to X and find me over there at Bailey Curtis, and that is Bailey with 2 Y's. Find me over on Instagram at Bailey Lynn Curtis. Find all of my work with the Hockey News at thehockeynews.com. Head over to the Colorado Avalanche site. I have pregame articles, postgame articles during the season. I've got think pieces, anything your heart desires. Be sure to head over there and check out some of my work.
You're
And
awesome.
then,
Thank you very much.
Obviously, the Avalanche warning. Be sure to go
And-
follow that as well.
Yes.
Guys, give them a follow. They're a new podcast. They're a lot of fun. Give them a follow. Give them a like. Throw
Subscribe.
on that little.
I will say we have a
bell.
really, really fun episode planned for this week. My co-host has 2 brothers, and they will be both making their podcast debuts for a very chaotic family episode.
Oh wow.
Those
Very
are
nice.
always our episodes, so we're good.
That's every single one of our episodes. Yeah. Chaotic and family.
Thanks once again for joining us. This was so much fun. I think we should do this again.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Lots of fun. Lots of
Thank
fun.
you very
Thank you
much,
very much,
Keep in
Bailey.
touch. Thank you.
Thank you.